All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Files Reacts, where we talk about our favorite movies, TV shows, and video games. You may recognize this guy next to me. This is the other co-host on the main channel. He's been on some Fantasy Files React stuff too. We've done Mr. Robot. What other shows? Have you been on any other shows?
Yeah, we did Euphoria, Mr. Robot,
Euphoria, that's right.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he's my co-host on the main channel and on Fantasy File Reacts, but he's just not over here a lot. So we're doing, of course, the new Last of Us
Yeah.
HBO episodes. As you can tell, I'm very sick right now, so my voice does not sound very good. I'm
It
sorry.
sounds so deep, dude.
Does it? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hey,
super deep.
that's an
It
improvement
it's
then,
kind of
maybe.
kind of sounds it kind of sounds a little sexy, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on. I
Yep.
like that then.
It does.
Maybe I should just keep it this way. I'll find a way to
Yeah.
find a way to do it. I do kind of wish that I just had the like Last of Us med kits that you get in the game, where it's just like water and rags, and you
Yeah.
like craft it
Yeah.
in this thing and it
Just
heals
fix it.
you.
You're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You've been shot like 6 times.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah, that's all I need, just the magical med kits.
Yep.
But yeah, we're talking about episodes 7 and 8. We watched episode 7 together last week using the HBO watch party. And so then today we're watching episode 8, which I am so excited for this episode, dude. This is probably like my most anticipated episode of the season besides the
Nice.
finale. If they stay true to the game, I think we're going to be crying at the end of
I
this
believe it,
episode.
dude. I
I
believe it.
think we're gonna be shedding a tear pretty good. So yeah, we're super excited for this. Obviously, we're gonna be doing show spoilers. I don't I don't want to do game spoilers for this one. At least everything up to this point in the game, I will spoil. Because obviously Gabe has seen it in the show.
Yep.
But I do not want to spoil the ending for the first game, especially. So we're gonna stay away from ending spoilers and Last of Us 2 spoilers. Although I will say, dude, I'm playing Last of Us 2 right now. I just finished Last of Us 1, my replay of that game.
Yep.
And God, I love these games so much, dude. I love them. They're so good.
That's how I feel about BioShock right now, dude.
Yeah, you're
I'm just
loving
madly
BioShock.
in love with BioShock. It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
which is great because like you're currently playing like two of my most favorite games
Yeah.
of all time
Yep.
because you're making your way through Last of Us.
Yep.
Do you remember how far you are? Are you at Henry and Sam yet?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I just got to Henry and Sam's.
okay, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, and then you're playing BioShock Infinite, which
Yep.
is like, I'm not gonna lie, it might be like a close call between BioShock Infinite and Dishonored for like my favorite video
Yeah, see,
games
now I
of
want
all
to try
time.
Dishonor, dude, because I feel
Yeah,
like I would like it after playing BioShock.
yeah, like
But I'm
yeah,
like,
if you like BioShock, you will love Dishonored for
yeah,
sure.
I'll probably snag that too, because I'm probably maybe 8 hours in or 10 hours in on the BioShock campaign, dude. It's just amazing.
Well, you texted me and you're at Comstock House with the sound guys.
Yeah, so I passed that. I figured out how to do it. I
Okay,
passed it. Yep. And then now
yeah. So you're
I've
like
got
really far. If
yeah.
you're there, you're super far.
Yep, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get on his airship right now. Or I just got on his airship or whatever.
Okay.
Anyways, no spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, you're on his airship about to do the big. Oh yeah, you're at the end of the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you're you're right at the end there.
That sucks, dude.
Um
I wish there was more.
yeah, for real. Well, you can play the DLC and the
Oh yeah,
DLC has a lot of good stuff, but the DLC won't really make any difference to you if you haven't played the other games.
gotcha.
So maybe go and play those first. But yeah, that's cool. I'm really glad you're enjoying that. But yeah, so we're gonna start this episode. We're gonna go into it, and then we're gonna come back to this recording after we've watched it. But first, real quick, before we do, what do you think of the series so far, Gabe?
Oh man, it has carries the same feeling in intensity and like yearning for more as Euphoria did
Oh,
with
okay.
with how well how well it's written or
Yeah.
shot or however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I'm always up for zombies anything, but this is
Yeah.
like This is like the best like zombie show movie that I've ever seen ever.
Right.
Like hands
Right.
down. I've seen a ton of them. This beats it all.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I'm definitely not one for zombies usually, but this show and the games have such a good story, and I feel like it really focuses on the humans and like
Yeah.
humanity as a whole.
Yep.
And so that's what I really love about him. But I'm really glad that you're getting so into it. Did you expect to like it this much, or did you think it was going to be
No,
just
no, I
another
did.
zombie? Okay,
I totally
nice.
did because my brother played the games when they like played the first one when it first came out, in 2012 or 13 or whatever,
Nice.
and loved it. My mom played it, loved it, and you've tried to
Yeah.
get me to play it. They've tried to get me
Mm-hmm.
to play it. I just haven't
Yeah.
played it.
Right.
And it's because it's so good. There's a reason
Yeah.
for that.
Right. Cool. Well, yeah, we are going to go into episode 8. We're going to pause the recording right now, and then we will be back the next time you see us. We will have seen the most recent episode, and we'll talk about episodes 7 and 8. See you in a minute.
Awesome.
2 hours later.
Well, all right, guys, we have just watched episode 8, and I'm sorry, my voice is even worse now from cheering at the screen because
Yeah.
I love that episode so much. I don't know how many times I was like, yes, yes, that's exactly right. I think that they fucking nailed it. There's a couple things that I have nitpicks about, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for the most part, God, I think they did such a damn good job. But so here's the thing. I know that we will probably want to talk about episode 8 right now, but for the format of the show, we do have to talk about episode 7 real quick, which is what we watched last week. And this is the Left Behind DLC. And so, what did you, having not played the Left Behind DLC, what did you think of last week's episode where it is Ellie in the past? It's a flashback to
Yep.
her a little bit
I
younger, and
yeah.
she's seeing this mall for the first time, falling in love for the first time. What'd you think of this, Gabe?
I really enjoyed it. I always love a good, flashback. It was cool to kind of see where she grew up, in the QZ and kind of like her ways of being rebellious, in the
Yeah.
whatever the girls' school, whatever they were there.
Yeah.
And then introducing her friend. What was the girl's name? The other girl?
Oh, what was the other girl's name? Hang on.
I can't remember
I should
either.
probably know that. Let me see.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I had to Google it. So Riley is her friend, and Riley is a part of the Fireflies, and Ellie
Yeah,
is at the Fedra school.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so originally the girl was at the Fedra school,
Right. Yeah.
but
She
then
left.
she started kind of seeing the Firefly stuff. But so that was just, I don't know, it was cool, man. Two like young kids like in this crazy ass world
Yeah.
that's just insane, like trying to go and have some fun together. It was kind of like it was wholesome in that aspect, and then of course like adding in the you know the love factor, them
Yeah.
liking each other was another big, I think, big part of that, because it's like where else, like, you're not gonna go find a husband, you're not gonna go find a wife like in this world, right? Like that's how you make stuff like that happen. There's
Yeah.
bonds, and you have to go do fun shit or whatever else, sneaky shit.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
not I think what you're trying to say is it's not like your typical dating, right?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
very much
Well, and I'm
different.
assuming like
But
in a Federal school, like they're not gonna just let you go out for dinner with a chick,
right.
like there's no
Yeah,
way.
for sure.
But yeah, so that was cool.
And I'm gonna tag on to that real
Tag
quick.
on.
It is kind of interesting because it's like in a way they are doing normal teenage stuff,
Yeah, yeah. It's
but
just
it's
yeah,
in the context of this apocalyptic
yeah.
world where they're in this like deserted mall and they're seeing a carousel for the first time and seeing an arcade for the first time.
Nailed it, dude. Nailed it. That's it. And then the ending, dude, was like so. It was really good, but I was so like disappointed. I knew because you told me it was the DLC, and I'm like, this is gonna have to be a quick story because
Right.
we don't get this character anymore. So I kind of like
Yeah,
foreshadowed a little bit of what might happen, not really in that context, but
sure.
yeah, that was sad, dude.
When she got bit, oh my
Yeah,
God, that
yeah.
is
And then like just
it's
sitting there holding hands and like talking about like, oh, dude, yeah,
yeah, they're like, we're gonna spend whatever time we have
one
left.
second, one
Yeah,
day, whatever it is, together.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah. You and I were both tearing up at the end of that, and I think that DLC is so powerful because for the people that played the main game, it's like that Ellie is immune. And so it ended the same exact way. I'm just gonna say, first of all, episode 7 was literally shot for shot what the game is. It was perfect in every
Yeah.
single way, down to the masks that they had, the dancing on the counters, all of that stuff was literally shot for shot. The only thing that was different was in the game, you're going back and forth between present day Ellie and
Oh,
younger Ellie.
yep.
And in the present day, she's in a mall and she's looking for medicine for Joel.
Gotcha.
And that's when she finds the like the sewing kit and all that.
Gotcha.
And so what's interesting with that too is that at the end of the episode, it just ends. Or like, what am I trying to say? The past story ends with them sitting in front of the counter, and then we get the flash forward to her sewing Joel up,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay. Gotcha. Yep.
And so it was exactly the same in the game. You don't get to see them turn into, or you don't get to see Riley turn into a zombie or anything. So it really leaves it up to your own imagination. Like, imagine what that must have been like. They both think that they're gonna turn,
And then Ellie doesn't,
and then
all of a sudden her best friend lover is a zombie dude. Oh my gosh.
right. Yeah, imagine that. Like, your best friend is getting worse and worse, and nothing is happening to you.
Oh, dude.
And you're trying to figure out why. Like, when am I gonna turn? And like, what do I do? So, it's not said explicitly, but you imagine that Ellie had to kill Riley.
Something,
Yeah.
or she just took off, one of the two. But and then
But Ellie does say, real quick, Ellie does say near the beginning of this show, Joel asks her if she's ever killed anybody, and she says, yes, I've killed one person.
Okay.
And so you have to imagine that that's
sure.
Riley.
And then her finding out that she's immune, that's probably how she probably makes her way to the Fireflies and explains what happened. Like,
right.
Like we both got bit. I'm still okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's an interesting point too, because it doesn't tell us if she
How
goes
that
back to
happens, yeah.
Fedra or if she goes to the Fireflies. But you have to imagine that she must have known that if she went to Fedra, they would kill her.
Yeah.
Because they
for
would
sure.
see the bite. But if she went to the Fireflies, maybe they're a little more open-minded or something.
She could just explain, like, look, this is 8 days old. Like, I'm not infected.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I don't think that ever gets explained. If anybody watching, if you guys know something that's in the game that maybe I didn't catch on this last replay, let me know. But yeah, I don't think that they explain that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing about the Left Behind DLC. Like, that note that it leaves you on is just really good. It makes you think a lot. It makes you like try to understand things from Ellie's point of view. And then we do see at the end of the DLC, we see her stitching up Joel. And I think they did it really good in the episode, even though it wasn't the same. I think they did a good job of Ellie at the beginning. She's there with Joel and he's dying. He's got an open wound.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to go. You have to go find Tommy. You have to leave me here. I am going to die. You are fucked if you stay.
Yeah.
And she deliberates, and then she's like, okay. And we see her about to leave, and she's standing there with her hand on the handle of the door, and she's thinking, and that's when we get the flashback. And we stay in that flashback for the whole episode. And it's not until Riley and Ellie get bit that we go back to the present, and Ellie's standing there at the door, and it's right after Riley's speech about, even if we only have 2 minutes, even if we only have a day, whatever we have, we're gonna spend it together.
Yeah.
And then it's perfect, because then it jumps to present day Ellie,
where
and
she's like, I'm not gonna leave you.
She's like, I'm not gonna leave him.
That's so cool, dude.
It's so good.
That's so good.
It's so good, man. And she runs through the whole house. She finds the needle and thread, and sews Joel back up. And yeah, I think they did that so well. And like like I said, all of the prequel or past Ellie stuff was all like shot for shot. It was all perfect. And so I really, really appreciated that from episode 7. And so I have a couple of these for this episode with you today, Gabe. And I'm gonna show you the clip
from the game. Cool,
from the
dude.
game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's do that. I'm gonna share my screen here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Get your ass up here.
So stupid.
Come on.
See, it's perfect. It's like exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
It's even the same counter that they're dancing on in the show.
Here. What is that? Hey. What's wrong?
Don't go.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Sorry.
For what?
What do we do now?
Dude, for 2012 or
We'll figure
whatever,
it
this
out.
is like solid,
Right?
bro.
Yeah.
But I don't think Marlene's gonna go.
Wait.
Oh, Jesus.
Riley!
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay.
Go back to, oh, so they're already bit after that zombie attacked
Yeah.
him.
So
Okay.
there's like combat that you're playing through.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then after that.
Quickly! Riley!
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The facial animations are
Dude,
so
yeah,
good.
amazing, man. And the sound quality is just next level, dude. The voicing they did was just
Yeah.
Your arm.
Yeah, Ellie, your arm.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
The way I see it, we got 2 options. Option 1. You take the easy way out. It's quick and painless. I'm not a fan of option 1. 2. We fight.
Fight for what? We're gonna turn into one of those things.
There are a million ways we should have died before today. And a million ways we can die before tomorrow. But we fight
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
for every second we get to spend with each other. Whether it's 2 minutes or 2
Oh,
days.
shit.
Yeah, she takes them to the garage
don't
that you
give
see
that
in the
up.
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that up. My vote? Let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all
Be all
poetic
poetic
and
and
just
lose
lose our
our-
minds together.
Yeah.
What's option 3?
Sorry. Come on. Let's get out of here.
yeah, so that's how
That's cool though, dude.
that's
Yeah, that's
that
awesome.
yeah, it's really, they really nailed it. I
Yep.
feel like they really did a good job with that. I was really, really happy with it. I don't know if I can say that I like one more than the other. I think both the game did a really good job of it and the show did a really good job of it for that one. I have noticed for the show so far, there are certain points in the game that I think the show does better. Like that,
Mm,
like the ending of episode 6.
yeah.
I think the ending of episode 6 was better than how it was done in the game. And there
Episode 6 was
where it was the one where he falls off the horse in the end, and she's like
Oh,
standing
okay.
over. She's like,
Yep.
I don't know what to do without you. Where am I supposed to
Okay.
go? What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? And so, yeah, I think that Bella Ramsey did a really good job with that scene, and it was more emotional than it was in the game. Because in the
Yeah.
game, he like falls off his horse, and she's like, "Oh shit," and then it just kind of cuts,
Yeah.
and then they're at the at the place where he's at. So then the other interesting thing about episode 7 is this is the one episode that Neil Druckmann, the creator of the game,
Mhm.
this is the one episode that he said he wanted full control of. And so that's probably why it's so like,
Episode 7?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably why it's so like shot for shot, and like all the lines are the same, like all the dialogue from that whole
Same exact
episode
thing. Yeah.
is basically the same. Yeah. And so, you can really see the difference when he has full creative control.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And also that mall was pretty much all green screen.
Oh, wow.
They did shoot it in a mall,
Yeah.
but it did not look like that.
Of course. Yeah, I
and
wasn't
so
they
they
didn't go trash them all. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
and
that's
so
cool though.
so they like green screened out major parts of the mall.
The thing about like, this video game that was made, what is it, 11, 12 years ago now or something?
Yeah,
Right? Versus a show that's being made today with
Yeah.
crazy technology.
right.
Because I'm one for nostalgia. Like I think that's why people that's why you love the game, right? Because you played
Yeah.
it, you felt it, you like owned it and fucking
Right.
played through it. And I mean, I have a little bit,
Yeah.
but seeing, like a refreshed, new,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
fresh version of it is just really cool. Mind you, I haven't seen the whole game, but
Sure.
I'm just like, it's cool to like you're getting 2 takes on it, dude.
Right.
Like, how awesome is that? When do you ever get that, dude?
I know, and that's what I think is so special about this, because they are, because I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but you look at something like the Wheel of Time,
Mhm.
and it's like that show was made for no one. The fans of the books don't like it.
Yeah.
Even the people that have never read the books didn't really like it. And so it's like you didn't win in the end by not catering to somebody.
Yeah.
Now with the Last of Us show, there are things that they're changing. There are things that are a little bit different than the game. The actors don't look like the characters from the
Yep.
game and stuff like that. However, they're doing such a good job with sticking to like the main story and
And
how
keeping the fans happy. Like even if they
Yeah.
don't stick to it, like it's something that the fans will love because it falls
Right.
into the realm of what, the game.
Right. Yeah, it's close enough, and
Yeah.
they're doing tons of little Easter eggs
Yep.
and tons of like foreshadowing to the second game, and they're really making sure that the fans are happy through this while also making changes for a modern kind of expanded audience.
For sure.
And I think that's why they're seeing so much success.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to do it, because as most of you guys know, I'm usually the guy that's like, stick to the source material, stay there. And with this, I think this is proof that you can deviate and you can keep people happy. There is a way to have both. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For sure.
So I think that is something that's really kind of surprised me about the show. When I went into the show, I was like, this is going to be bad. I'm not going to like this. I don't know. Like, it's just not going to be good. I had like zero expectations for the show other than it was going to be a piece of trash after what they did to Wheel of Time and all
Yeah.
that. But it was a different company that did Wheel of Time and all
Yeah.
that. So then when I started watching the show, I was pleasantly surprised And I was like, dude, this is like exactly what I would want from this show. So yeah, I thought they did a great job with episode 7. Let's talk about episode 8. This is the one we just watched.
Dude. The mind fucker.
Dude,
Holy
okay.
crap.
So I'm eager to get your thoughts off the jump here because you haven't gotten to this part in the game.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
So I'm eager to see what you thought of it.
When we started this, Spencer was like, he's so excited.
I was like a little girl just squealing in my chair.
You just see, and so yeah, I mean, I was really curious to how Ellie was going to get out of the bind that she's in with Joel.
Right.
Joel's sick and dying, so I had no idea about the people that came, and so when we see that the preacher
David,
thank you.
Yeah.
We see David. They're out hunting for deer, and they come up, and I'm like, and I was like, this is it can go so many different ways right now, right? Like, she could die right here. Well, obviously she's not gonna die, but she could like kill one of them and then be hunted. I just wasn't sure.
Right.
And so like, first thoughts on David, at first I was like, all right, he's probably just kind of like, crazy preacher guy, but he cares about people, and he wants to make people happy. And so it's like, that could work. And he gives her the medicine, and I'm like, okay, that's a good sign right there.
Yeah.
And so I knew when she started giving the penicillin to him, I knew that Joel was going to be all right. Like I knew he was going to be able to get back up.
Nice.
Penicillin is good shit. But then when we start seeing more of this Silver Lake people, and Spencer's like, he's like, pay attention to him.
Yeah.
Watch him. Like, okay. And at one point, I remember they were talking about hunting deer. They brought a deer back, this and that, and this guy walks a bin of meat. Well, you guys, you've seen it. Anyways, he brings meat to the people, and in my head, I was like, okay, deer meat, it's fine. But then, like, I had the thought, I was like, holy fuck, that's people, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's people, dude. They're eating people. And from then on out, I was just like, it's gonna be a weird one. But I've always been like kind of not fascinated, but the whole like cult thing, is just very interesting to me, and how
I agree.
How that dynamic works and stuff. And so I knew that it was kind of like a cult following of this dude who's like power hungry and thinks he's God. That's what I felt like. Like, the dude thought he was the father. He's the father. I'll take care of you type shit.
Yeah. There was this moment later on where you said something like, you're like, what if he's like having sex with all these young girls? You're like, what if he's trying to like,
because that's what they do, dude. That's what the cult people do. It's like, I could totally see that. And then when Ellie was in the cage, totally confirmed. I was like, he wants to make babies with these girls and start this huge family cult.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, when you said that, I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be interesting?
And then that was just a dead giveaway too.
Yeah.
Dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is such a crazy realization, because at first, and that's why I was so like kind of giddy at the beginning, because we see him and he's like serving food to his
looks
people.
Like a nice guy, right? Like, he's just trying to take care of people. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh shit. And you even said, you're like, is there something I'm missing? I'm like, no, you're good. Just wait. Just pay attention to him. Just wait. And like that slow kind of reveal that he is like the girl whose father died at the beginning of the episode, like they are eating him.
Yeah.
And just that realization is so good. You realize that all these people are cannibals. You realize that David is like this really sick dude that preys on young girls and stuff. And man, dude, it is such a good episode in the way that and same with episode 7. I could not be happier. I think like episodes 6, 7, and 8 are like by far my favorites so far, because they're so true to the source material.
Yeah.
And especially 8, like, dude, I cannot wait for you to get to this part of the game, because it is literally shot for shot. Everything that happens up until the end is exactly how it happens in the game. Now, I do have a couple gripes. So when she's in the cage and he's talking to her and he's like, you have a violent heart, like I'm violent too, and like I know you have like this dark side of you. That is something that's kind of been a through line throughout this whole show. And it's not something that I agree with. And I know it's kind of a problem that a lot of the fans of the games have, because Ellie isn't a violent person. Like that's not what she is. She doesn't have like this deep, like dark piece of her that's like hiding away. And I think the reason that they're doing that is because in the second game, and I'm not going to give anything away, but in the second game, you play as Ellie and you have to do a lot of like really violent stuff like Joel does. And there's a narrative reason for that in the second game. There's something that happens in the second game that makes her that way, but it hasn't happened yet where we are in the show.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to reconcile. When she does become really violent in the second game, it's so impactful because of what happens. Like, it makes you realize like this thing that happened affected her in such a way that she became this completely other person.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for the people that enjoyed the games. It's like, well, at this point in the story, she's not that. And it's not something that she like harbors deep inside herself. So that's something that I kind of have trouble with. But, you know, the second season is going to be here in a year, and then we'll be there. So it doesn't really matter. They're just trying to set that up so it's not as like shocking to the viewer.
Yeah.
But I think that there could have been like a different way of handling it. I don't really mind it, other than just the fact that the Ellie that's in the show, Ellie is probably the thing that's the most different from the games.
Yeah.
The Ellie that's in the show is a pretty different Ellie. Like, the scenes are the same and like the things that she says are the same, but the way that she acts is not the same. And in the first game, she's very like innocent, and she trusts Joel, and she's trying to like be friends with Joel, but he doesn't want to be friends with her. And it's not until like this later part of the game that we're seeing now in the show where he like comes around, and now she is like his adopted daughter.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit weird, but it's honestly, with how good the show is, it's a small gripe compared to all the good that they've done, honestly.
Yeah. And I think I get what you're saying about she doesn't have a dark heart, and it's not like he doesn't want to murder people when she sees him, you know, doesn't
Yeah.
want to rip heads off. But I think that and this might be different in the game, I'm not sure, but just hear me out.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you know, she has to do what she has to do in order to live, right? Like,
Right.
that's her goal, to survive so she can get back to Joel or whatever works out.
Yeah.
And those things that she has to do are brutally violent.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, in the game, does she hit that guy 15 times with a?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah,
all
and
happens.
And so that's like, you know, that to me is brutal violence, but it's not coming from a place of just like utter murder, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
No, she's been tormented.
Like he was
Yeah.
about to rape her, you know, like
Right.
very, very bad shit.
Yeah.
And so I think that the how do I say that?
The showrunners are trying to make it more
Kind of
palatable, maybe.
Well, not palatable, but I just think they're trying to, at least the way that I felt was they're trying to, the whole violent heart thing, because in the afterword or whatever it's called, like they even say that like
Yeah.
this was not in the game.
Right.
Like, this was just something that we wanted to kind of like
Something they wanted to convey.
Yes.
Yeah.
That like you have in this world, like you have to do some bad shit. And Joel's a great example of that.
Right.
For instance, when Joel's tortures these two guys to find out where Ellie is.
Dude,
You know?
let's
Oh my
talk
gosh.
about that
Yeah.
scene. That was probably the part of the episode where I was like in my seat squealing.
Yeah.
Because it is exactly like every single line of dialogue was exactly how it was in the game.
That's awesome,
And
dude.
he even says like, you know, point to where this is, or I'm gonna take your kneecap off.
Yep.
And the guy's like, okay, he puts the knife in his mouth and he points, and then he kills him, and he goes to the other guy, and the other guy's like, I'm not telling you anything now. And Joel says, that's okay, I believed him. And it's like,
yeah, dude. Yeah.
So good, dude. It's so good. I'm like, I am so glad that they nailed that scene, because that was like one of my favorite scenes from the game, because all of this stuff has happened to Joel, and it's this moment for him where, you know, it's this journey that you've been on with Joel, right? Because at first he doesn't care about this girl. She's just cargo. And then over time, he starts to care about her. And his daughter, when he was 20 years younger, his daughter got taken from him, right?
Yeah.
She got killed in front of him. And so he's starting to become attached to Ellie. And when these motherfuckers take
Mess with Ellie,
take
dude.
her
Yeah.
away from him,
Yep.
he is like, everybody is fucked. And
Yep.
that's when you start to see Joel at his absolute best.
Yeah.
And he is just a renegade motherfucker mowing down anybody in front of him to get
Yep.
to Ellie. And that is the best part of Joel. It's like ultimate dad mode.
Yeah.
And
No, that's awesome.
dude, oh, that scene was so
Yeah, and
so
another
good.
thing I want to say just about the show too,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the game was good, but I love how the scene where, you know, Joel's laying downstairs and Ellie tells him like, hey, like there's people coming, fucking kill whoever comes down here. I'm gonna try and lead him away from you.
Right. Yeah.
And this dude is like, he's dying. Like
Yeah.
he's like sick. He's gotten a couple doses of penicillin. Like it's gonna take him a week to get back on his feet, type thing. And he gets up and he's hiding. And when he stabs that dude, the amount of like violence and the portrayal of the violence is so good in
Oh
the show that
yeah.
they don't skimp anything. Like
Right.
the death rattle, you see all of it, and it's like very visceral. I was
Yeah.
very surprised with how like well the actors and director like just made that so surreal, because I was like,
Yeah.
it was like really powerful.
Yeah, that was good. They did not shy away from a single second of that kill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's on his face the whole time, watching all the stages. You know,
Yeah.
realization, about to die, last breath. Like it was all there, and I was just impressed.
Yeah. That was really, really good. You mentioned that while we were watching
Yeah.
the episode. You're like, dude, you see every like
Yep.
phase. And man, I think that it speaks a lot to the actors and
Yes.
to the directors as well, allowing, because like some other directors would probably like have Joel stab him and then it would cut.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the directors allowed this like 30-second scene
Yep.
of every single thing. And
Yeah.
I think it was meant to convey like, yeah,
How
there,
serious this shit
yeah,
is.
like
This is not a game, dude.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's about to be like strap in, because there's about to be like some serious
Yeah.
violence. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what this episode was. It was brutal. And we see Ellie and Joel, depending on how you look at it, either at their best or at their worst.
Yeah.
And my God, it was just so good. I have another negative thing, but I want to say something positive first. I loved this when Ellie and David are kind of sitting over the deer, and at the beginning.
Yep.
And he's like, we're many, but you know, we're hungry, but we're surviving. And he's like, you could join us. And she's like, she says, oh, you're inviting me to your hunger club? Thanks. I'm like,
Yep.
I love that, like, just that phrase. I don't remember if that was in the game, but just the phrase like hunger club.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that was such a good little, I don't know. I just love that.
No, yeah, that was awesome.
She was
Ellie's
so
a
like
badass,
snarky
dude.
and yeah. But yeah, so then we kind of see like, you know, they even say it in the after the episode thing. We see David, and you know, you kind of think at first like maybe he's a good guy, and then it slowly gets revealed that he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
And then you get the reveal at the end of that scene where they're sitting over the deer, and he's like, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's like, one of our guys about a week ago died from this crazy man out in the woods. And wouldn't you know it, that crazy man was traveling with a little girl. And it's this moment where you're like,
Yeah, you're like, oh shit,
dude. Yeah. And then James, I think his name was, he comes in the other side with the gun. Oh, Troy Baker. We should talk about him. But yeah, Troy Baker comes in the other side, and David's like, you know, put down the gun, and she gets the medicine, and they allow her to run. Because I think they kind of like the chase. I think
Oh
they
yeah,
kind of like
for sure.
the, you know,
David even says that.
yeah,
He's like, you know this about me now. I like the chase. That's what I
right.
live for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, you know, that's kind of an interesting scene. But Troy Baker, dude, Troy Baker is one of I'm not kidding. Troy Baker is like one of my most favorite people on the whole planet. I love Troy Baker. I've listened to almost every single podcast that he's been on, every single interview he's done. He is just such a good human being in general. And so it was really, really cool to see him in the show. He obviously he didn't play like a main character or anything, but even just to see him for like a cameo, I was like, yes, this feels right.
Yeah.
And he did such a good job. He's such a good actor. And looking at him, dude, I think that, so here's the thing. And maybe I'll show you a picture. So in the game, this is what David looks like. Do you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
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 So I think that Troy Baker would have played a really good David.
David, they look almost identical, dude.
Right. Yeah. I think they look really, really similar. And so I kind of wish that he had played David.
Yeah.
The guy that ended up playing David, I thought was
Great
fine.
job, dude. Yeah. Did a good job.
Yeah. But in the game, I feel like this character specifically, right from the beginning comes off a lot more creepy.
Yeah.
And maybe in the show they wanted to make you believe that he was a good guy from the beginning, just to have a little bit more of a twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, yeah, Troy Baker did such a good job. Matter of fact, I think that Troy Baker probably could have even played Joel. I thought that, like, he has kind of like a slimmer face and a slimmer build.
I think by looks maybe, but dude, Pedro Pascal is just
He's doing such a good job.
Astonishing, dude.
Dude,
I'm
love him.
like kind of obsessing over that dude right now.
Right, yeah.
My man crush right now, dude.
Right, yes. Pedro is doing such a phenomenal job.
Because like I haven't seen him in a lot of movies. Like I haven't seen a lot of movies that he's been in.
No.
And so like pulling a #1 rated show in America right now is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You have to think about the thought process from the director. Like, he's probably searching for people, and he's like, I wonder what went through his head when he's like, I want to get him in here for a trial run, you know?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd like to look up a interview or something. But yes, let's talk about that ending. We get it was a little bit different in the game. So Ellie gets out of the cage, they put her on the table, she says, I'm infected, and the same thing happened. Like like James or whatever looks at David and he's like, dude, you're infected. And then that's her moment to hit him with the cleaver.
Yeah.
And then run out of the room. And I think in the game, she runs out of the room and she goes into the snowstorm. And you're kind of going through the snowstorm for a while, and then she ends up at the restaurant.
Gotcha.
But I thought it was perfect how they cut it in the show, because she just goes directly from that to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And yeah, what a great scene. I was so happy with that scene up until the very end, because everything up until when she's like hitting him with the cleaver was like shot for shot perfect. The only difference was that at the end, you know what? I'll just show you.
There you go.
I'll just show you. Yep. Okay, so this is after she like kind of stabs him.
Okay.
And he's over there on the ground next to her right here. And then this happens. And you tell me which is more emotional, because the whole thing about this scene is it is the first time that Joel calls her his baby girl.
Okay.
And that is like the emotional like anchor of this whole thing. Even that was perfect. Like in the show, that was the exact same.
Yeah.
Knew you had heart. You know, it's okay to give up. Ain't no shame in it. I guess not. Just not your style, is it? You can try begging.
Fuck you.
You think you know me? Huh? Well, let me tell you something. You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's okay. It's me. It's me. It's me. Look. It's me.
He tried to.
Oh, baby girl.
Oh,
Joel.
It's okay.
yeah, that was way more emotional
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh God. You just see the knife.
yep.
Oh God.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Although I do have to say that, you know, the other ending in the show I think was still very, very
Yeah.
touching, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that would have been cool. Like having him stop her mid rage was like that
yeah.
was a big thing for
Yeah,
sure.
see that, and that's kind of what I liked about it. I was shocked when we were watching the episode and she like leaves and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh shit, is it not going to happen?"
yeah,
And like I was so worried and then he kind of comes up.
yeah,
I don't know why they did it that way specifically. I don't know if they were trying to give like Ellie a little bit of like independence, like leaving on her own
yeah.
or what. But yeah,
The
I was a little
go ahead.
bummed, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
But the acting that Ellie did right at the end when Joel finds her was like, that was
Yeah.
like just amazing, dude. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I would picture a girl that's gone through what she had through and just, you know, found the person that she cares about or that can protect her. Like it was just like super raw.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what an incredible show. I am so happy with both of these episodes, despite my little nitpicks here and there.
But your nitpicks are just because of the game. They're not the
Yeah,
show.
right. Yeah. No, I think that anybody watching the show would,
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm super happy with it. Was there anything else in this episode that you can think of that stuck out to you?
Well, yeah, just more of David's craziness when he backhands that girl at dinner,
Oh
the little girl,
yeah.
just slaps the fuck out of her, and then immediately like leans over and like tries to grab her hand. And like
Mhm.
that is like some psychotic, narcissistic
Yeah.
stuff. That's what, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
just like, wow.
But yeah, we do get to see a lot of David's kind of manipulation because we see it in the game,
Yeah.
but I think they did a really good job in the show of showing you the different ways that he like controls this
Yeah.
society and the way that he like makes them trust him
Yes.
and how he like disciplines and then like with the girl he like slaps her and then he comforts her and
Yep.
it's
Which is
kind of this
crazy, dude.
just this weird
And
like
seeing the look like on the
gaslighting,
mom's face, like when she gets slapped, that mom was like just
powerless.
terrified, powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrified.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job with making him a serious
Yeah.
villain. That was good. But yeah, dude, I am so excited for next week. I
Yeah,
cannot
dude.
wait. I'm so
We
excited,
gotta do
dude.
this again next Sunday. The final episode, dude.
Yeah. So since you haven't played the game, and I did this with Jim when he came on Fantasy
Mhm.
Files Reacts too. That's Jim from Fantasy for the Ages. Go check
Mhm.
out his channel if you like fantasy books. I asked him, since he hadn't played the game, what do you think you're in for here? What do you think
Oh,
is
dude.
like what do you think the next episode is gonna be?
I feel like I might be tainted a little bit because in the forward or whatever you want to,
Yeah,
whatever that is,
yeah,
that we see a couple scenes from the next episode.
right.
And so like from that, I can deduce that they're gonna, you know, they're gonna make their way somewhere. But I don't. It's hard to say, dude. I feel like there's gonna be a big battle of some sort,
Okay.
and something bad is gonna happen.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I just feel like the ending of the finale is gonna be something rough.
Do you think that they find the fireflies or no?
I would probably say yes. I think that they probably will. I don't know in what capacity.
Right.
Like maybe not find the person that can help Ellie or fix the problem, but they probably like will find where they are. You know,
Okay.
That's their goal, right? They're trying to make it to the fireflies. That's their whole reason, right?
Yeah, okay, well, they're trying to like get her to the fireflies so that Ellie's blood can be used for a cure.
Cure, yeah, exactly. But like even in like the ending of 6, beginning of 7, they were trying to like, or So I guess maybe it was
It
5 or 6, but there was a moment like where they see the firefly symbol on the wall, and they're
yeah.
like, "Look, fireflies." So
Yeah,
they're
that was in 6. They were at the college and the
yeah.
college was completely empty and the
Okay, yeah.
fireflies were supposed to be there.
Yep. Yep.
But then they realized that they're in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
So
that's
yeah, I hope that they do, man. I hope that they do kind of figure it out. But something's gonna happen, dude. I don't know what that is. Something's gonna happen.
oh yeah.
Oh, dude,
I'm
you have
so
no idea
excited.
how tempted I am to look.
Oh, don't. Please
I
don't.
know. I'm not going to, dude. I've already
Okay.
committed to not doing it. But I'm just saying, there's been
Yeah.
a couple times where I'm like, what happens? I was just gonna like, what happens in the, very ending of the first game,
Yeah.
but I haven't done it. I won't do it. I'm gonna stay
Okay.
faithful.
Yeah, it's such a good it's honestly like kind of unanimously held as one of the best endings in all, like
Yeah.
all of video games.
I believe that.
So yeah, you would definitely be doing yourself a disservice if you spoiled it. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to see your reaction. We'll have to figure out some stuff for next week because I know Nick Henderson was going to come on for the finale episode as
Oh,
well. So
cool.
we'll try to get both you guys on at the same time.
We just do a big watch party, dude. You
Yeah.
can join us. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
And yeah, and if not, then we can do 2 separate episodes or something if the timeline doesn't work out. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Any other thoughts before we head out?
I think so, dude. I'm
right.
just gonna be biting my fingernails until next Sunday.
I know.
Mm.
Oh, dude.
That's one thing and this is a dumb gripe, but I just like I love going like finding a new show that already has 7 seasons out.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so hard for me to wait, and like being an anime lover, like
Yeah.
for instance, the new Bleach. Like
Yeah.
I get an episode every week. And I'll purposely not watch it for a month.
Right. Right.
So I can binge watch like 4 episodes, and
Right.
that's what I like to do. But it just sucks sometimes, dude. Because I just
Yeah.
want to fucking know what happens, dude.
I know.
That's why it's so good. That's why
Yeah.
it's so good. That's
Yeah.
literally why it's so good.
Yeah, I do enjoy binging stuff. I certainly have in the past. I've
Yeah.
Binged a bunch of shows and whatnot. However, with something like this, I really like because if this was all out at the same time, we would not have this show the way we like
For sure.
like the
No,
Fantasy
totally.
Files
Yep.
show the way we
Totally.
do.
Totally.
Because then it would all be out at one time and we just have one episode where we talk about
For
it
sure.
all.
Yeah.
And so this has been really nice doing this on the Fantasy Files Reacts every single week. I've had a different guest
Yeah.
with people that have different experiences about
Which
the
is
show.
cool.
And like,
Yep, definitely.
what'd you think about this episode? And what do you think's going to happen? And just all these conversations you get to have every week with this slow drip feed. What's really going to be difficult is the wait for season 2. That is going to
'cause
be,
it's gonna take a year, you said, right? Or something?
yeah, it'll probably be 2025 by the time.
You know what?
we
Not for
get-
me though, because I'm gonna beat the game and play number 2. So I'm gonna fucking know
Yes!
what's going on, dude.
Right. There you
Yep.
go. Yeah. So yeah, season 2, I think is going to be really good. I think they're going to make changes that they need to make. And I think that's fine because really it's the first game that I'm like really married to.
Yeah.
The second game, I love the second game, but I really don't care if they change it. Like
Yeah.
I really don't care if they
Yeah.
make changes to the second game. But I do love it. I'm playing it right now, and dude, I'm just like I'm only like a couple hours into it right now, but I'm just reminded, oh my god, I love this game.
Yeah, dude.
So
I remember
much.
coming
I
over to
love-
your house when you
yeah.
lived here in this state and you were playing it.
Yeah,
I remember watching you play a little scene as Ellie,
yeah,
ducking around a corner and fucking, oh, dude, it was so cool.
yeah. And the dude, I am
Yeah,
blown away by the
yeah.
graphics, dude.
Yeah.
Even on my base PS4,
Yeah.
I have The Last of Us 2 running, and I'm like, I have never seen better graphics than
Yeah.
this. Never. There's not one other game that I've seen that has better graphics.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, maybe something like Cyberpunk on a PC or something.
Yeah, but that's
But,
that's
yeah,
different.
that's in
Yeah,
another
not-
league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a whole other realm, dude.
Yeah.
One that you and I cannot touch.
Right. Well, all right, guys. Thank you for joining us for this. And thank you, dude, Gabe. This has been so much fun doing the watch party with you the
Yes,
past couple
dude.
weeks.
Yes.
And now having you on like this series of
Yep.
Fantasy Files Reacts. It's been
I'm here for
really
it, dude. These are really fun.
Yeah.
We got to find some other stuff to watch too, dude.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Well, all right, guys. Thank you for joining us for this discussion and just kind of hanging out with us. Sorry, my voice sounds like I just deep-throated 10 Smurfs in a row.
You sound like a stud, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week. It won't even be 2 weeks away.
Yep.
It'll be next week with the final episode. We'll get to see how the first game wraps up. I'm so excited for all of you guys who haven't played the game to see how this all ends, and just I have total faith that they're gonna nail it. After this episode, despite my little complaints, I think they're gonna fucking nail the final episode.
For sure.
And I could not be more excited for it. I'm so happy. So yeah, let's see. What do we need to do for the outro? At Files Fantasy is our Twitter. You can reach out to us on Twitter there. We have a Discord that'll be linked in the description. We have a main channel where we talk about fantasy and sci-fi books. We interview authors and other content creators. We
voice
interview
actors. Dude, we've
yeah.
had so many amazing interviews on that channel.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it's been incredible, especially lately. We've had some really, really good content lately. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to go over there and subscribe. And also subscribe here if you like this content. We're also going to be doing like video game content. Oh yeah, we just did Nidhogg. We got to get that.
Oh, that's right.
We got to get those files.
Yes, I'll get a thumb drive and I'll make that happen. Yeah, that was so much fun.
That was
dude.
so much fun, dude. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have a little bit of Nidhogg gameplay coming to Fantasy Files React.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. Like I said, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you so much for being here with us and being a part of this conversation. You guys have watched all of these Last of Us episodes, and it's been so much fun to talk with you guys about the show. Please feel free to leave whatever in the comments if you want to talk about The Last of Us or what you thought of these episodes, or if you think that they're being faithful to the games or whatever. Just leave those down below or reach out on Twitter. And until next time, we will see you on the next episode of Fantasy Files Reacts. Goodbye.
Peace out. Dude, we did that at the same time.
That was great.
We did that at the